Tyler Reed stepped off the transport shuttle and onto the metal platform of the Galactic Combat Academy. His boots made a soft sound against the floor. Around him, the hangar bay stretched out like a massive cave made of steel and lights. Hundreds of alien beings moved through the space. Some walked on 2 legs like him. Others had 4 legs or 6. A few floated above the ground. Tyler tightened his grip on his bag and walked forward. He had traveled 3 months to reach this place. The Academy sat on a station between 5-star systems. It was where the best warriors in the galaxy came to train. A creature moved toward him through the crowd. It stood taller than any being Tyler had ever seen. Gray fur covered its body. Muscles bulged under the fur like rocks under a blanket. The creature had a face that looked almost like a bear from Earth, but the eyes were too intelligent, too aware. Scars cut across its face and arms. "You are the human," the creature said. Its voice was deep and rough. "I am Instructor Kronak. You will follow me." Tyler followed the massive instructor through corridors filled with other cadets. They stopped talking as he passed. Some pointed at him. Others made sounds that might have been laughter. Tyler kept his eyes forward and his face calm. They entered a white room filled with strange machines. An alien worked at a console near the center. This one had green armor that looked like insect shell. 4 arms moved across the controls with quick, precise movements. 2 large eyes studied a screen. "New cadet for processing," Kronak said. The insect alien looked up. Its eyes focused on Tyler. "Stand in the circle, human." Tyler walked to a raised platform in the center of the room. Blue light swept down from the ceiling and across his body. It felt warm but not uncomfortable. Numbers appeared on screens all around the room. Kronak leaned forward to read the results. His eyes narrowed. The fur on his neck rose slightly. "This is wrong," Kronak said. "Scan him again, Specialist Thera." The blue light swept over Tyler a second time. The same numbers appeared. If anything, they looked slightly worse. Thera's 4 arms moved across the console. "The scans are accurate, Instructor. The human registers below minimum threshold in strength, speed, natural armor, and combat capability. His reaction time is adequate but not exceptional. He has no natural weapons. No claws. No venom. No hardened skin. By our standards, he should not have qualified for basic training." Kronak walked around Tyler in a slow circle. His massive head tilted as he studied the human from different angles. "How did you gain acceptance to this academy?" "I passed the entrance trials," Tyler said. "Every species must meet physical requirements. You do not meet them." "I passed the strategy trials," Tyler said. "All 12 levels. And I completed the endurance course." Kronak made a sound that was almost a laugh. "Strategy? You think strategy matters when a Korgothi warrior like me can crush your skull with one hand? You think it matters when a Vakrii fighter moves faster than your eyes can track?" More cadets had gathered at the doorway. Word had spread that a human was being processed. They wanted to see the strange creature that thought it could train with real warriors. A tall, thin alien with purple skin pushed forward. "He looks like he would break if I touched him." "I give him 2 days," another voice called out. "1 day," someone else said. "First combat drill will send him to the medical bay." Laughter echoed through the room. Even Specialist Thera's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. Kronak raised a massive hand. The room fell silent. "Thera, issue him a standard uniform and assign quarters. We begin combat drills at first light cycle tomorrow." The instructor looked down at Tyler. His scarred face showed no warmth. "Use tonight to think carefully about your choice to be here. There is no shame in admitting you made a mistake. Better to leave now than to be carried out later." Thera handed Tyler a folded uniform and a small data pad. "Follow the guide drone to your quarters. Do not wander. Some species here do not react well to unfamiliar creatures in their territory." A small sphere floated down from the ceiling. It blinked with a soft yellow light and moved toward the door. Tyler followed it through more corridors. The walls were smooth metal. Lights ran along the ceiling in strips. Doors lined both sides of the hallway, each marked with strange symbols. The drone stopped at a door near the end of one corridor. The door slid open. Tyler stepped inside. The room was small. A sleeping pad sat against one wall. A desk with a terminal occupied another corner. A storage locker completed the furniture. The walls were bare metal. One small window looked out into space. Stars scattered across the darkness like dust. Tyler set his bag on the desk and sat down. He activated the terminal. The Academy database opened with a soft chime. Tyler began to read. Training protocols. Combat exercise records. species profiles, medical data, historical performance reviews. He read everything he could access. His eyes moved across the screen, absorbing information, filing it away. The Korgothi were strong. Their muscle density was 3 times that of humans. They could lift weights that would crush Tyler flat. But their fighting style relied on overwhelming power. They charged forward. They struck hard. They expected opponents to break under the assault. The Sylvani had 4 arms and could attack from multiple angles at once. But Tyler noticed something in their combat footage. They followed patterns. Right arm high, left arm low, back arms for defense. The pattern repeated. Over and over. The Thendril had armor plating that could stop most weapons. But they were slow to turn. Once committed to a direction, they needed time to change course. The Vakrii were fast. Incredibly fast. But they used their speed the same way every time. Quick strike, retreat, circle, strike again. Always the same rhythm. Tyler made notes on his data pad. Every species had advantages. But every advantage came with a weakness. The trick was finding it. Hours passed. The station moved through its night cycle. Lights in the corridor dimmed. Tyler kept reading. His eyes grew tired, but his mind stayed sharp. Tomorrow would be his first day of combat training. Tomorrow, everyone would be watching to see the weak human fail. Tomorrow they expected him to prove them right. Tyler looked at his reflection in the dark window. He saw a young man with no claws, no armor, no special strength. Just a human who had traveled across the stars to train with warriors who thought he did not belong. He smiled slightly. Let them think he was weak. Let them think he would break. He would show them what a human could do. The training hall was massive. It stretched out like a metal field with combat rings marked across the floor. Alien cadets filled the space, warming up for the first drill session. Tyler stood near the back watching. Instructor Kronak entered through the main doors. His heavy footsteps echoed across the hall. All movement stopped. Every cadet turned to face him. Combat readiness drill, Kronak announced. Partner exercises. You will be assigned an opponent. The objective is simple. Force your opponent out of the ring or make them submit. No lethal strikes. No permanent damage. Everything else is permitted. A screen on the wall displayed pairs of names. Tyler found his assignment quickly. His opponent was listed as Karn, a Korgothi like Kronak but younger and slightly smaller. Still twice Tyler's size. Karn approached with a wide grin. His teeth were sharp and white. Try not to die too quickly, human. I want some entertainment. They moved to an open ring. Other cadets gathered around to watch. Word had spread fast. The weak human was about to get his first real test. Kronak raised his hand. Begin. Karn charged forward immediately. His massive fist swung toward Tyler's head with terrible speed. Tyler ducked and rolled to the side. The fist passed through empty air. Karn spun and charged again. Tyler dodged again barely. Stand and fight, someone yelled from the crowd. Tyler kept moving. Karn was strong but he telegraphed every attack. His shoulders dipped before he punched. His weight shifted before he charged. Tyler could see each move coming half a second before it happened. But dodging was not winning. And Tyler's legs were already starting to tire. He could not keep this up forever. Karn swung again. This time Tyler stepped inside the punch instead of away from it. He was too close for Karn to generate full power. Tyler struck at Karn's knee, not hard but precisely. Karn stumbled. Tyler moved behind him and pushed. The larger cadet fell forward, 1 foot sliding out of the ring. Kronak's hand came down. Match concluded. Human wins. Silence filled the training hall. Then angry muttering started. He got lucky, someone said. Karn slipped. It was not a real win. Tyler said nothing. He walked back to his position and waited for the next drill. The exercises continued through the morning. Tyler struggled with strength tests. He could barely lift half of what the other cadets managed easily. During speed trials he finished near the bottom. But during sparring sessions something strange kept happening. He won more often than he lost. Not through power. Not through speed. But through timing. Through positioning. Through seeing what his opponents would do before they did it. A Sylvani cadet named Vesa faced him in the 3rd hour. She had 4 arms and moved like flowing water. Her attacks came from every direction at once. But Tyler noticed the pattern. High right, low left, middle with both back arms. High right, low left, middle. Always the same sequence. He waited for the pattern to repeat. When the high right strike came he was already moving. When the low left followed he was not there. When both back arms thrust toward his middle, he had shifted to the side. He swept Vessa's lead leg and she went down. Instructor Kronak watched from the side of the hall. His expression was unreadable. Beside him stood Specialist Thera, the insect-like alien from processing. Her forearms were crossed. Her large eyes tracked Tyler's every movement. "He should not be winning," Kronak said quietly. "Yet he is," Thera replied. "Look at his eyes. He watches their bodies, not their faces. He is reading their intentions through their movements. Every cadet here is trained. They know not to telegraph their attacks." "They do not telegraph to each other," Thera said. "But he is different. He sees things they do not expect anyone to see, because they do not know what a human can notice." The afternoon brought team exercises. Tyler was assigned to Squad 7 along with 5 other cadets. A Thendril named Gareth, 2 Vakrii named Senna and Krix, a Korgothi named Vera and a Sylvani named Pol. None of them looked happy about having a human on their team. "Stay out of the way," Gareth said. His voice rumbled from deep in his stone-like chest. "We cannot afford to lose points because you slow us down." The exercise was a tactical simulation. 2 squads would face each other in a mock battlefield with stun weapons. The goal was to eliminate the opposing team or capture their flag. Whichever team won would receive higher rankings for the week. Squad 7 moved into the simulation field. It was a maze of walls, barriers, and elevated positions. Their opponents, Squad 3, entered from the opposite side. "Standard formation," Vera commanded. She was the largest Korgothi in the group and had assumed leadership. Gareth takes point. Senna and Krix on flanks. Pol provides aerial support. Tyler, stay in the middle and try not to get shot. They moved forward. Tyler studied the terrain as they advanced. The walls created natural choke points. The elevated positions gave clear sight lines. Squad 3 would have studied the same layout. They would use the same tactics every team used. "They will hit us from the left corridor," Tyler said. "Be quiet," Vera snapped. "The elevation on the left gives them a perfect angle. They will send fast units to flank while their heavy units pin us from the front." "I said be quiet, human." Squad 7 reached the center of the field. Tyler saw movement on the left side, exactly where he predicted. "Left side. Now." No one listened. Gareth pushed forward to engage enemies that appeared in front of them. Senna and Krix spread to the flanks as planned. Then Squad 3's ambush hit from the left corridor. 3 Vakrii burst out at full speed. Their stun weapons fired in rapid succession. Pol went down first, caught in midair. Krix took 2 shots to the chest and collapsed. "Fall back," Vera shouted. But Tyler was already moving. He had positioned himself near cover when no one was paying attention. He fired at the ambushing Vakrii, hitting one. Gareth finally turned and blocked the corridor with his massive body, his stone armor absorbing the stun blasts. Squad 7 retreated in chaos. They lost the match badly. Back in the preparation area, Vera threw her helmet on the ground. "Disaster. Complete disaster." "I told you they would flank left," Tyler said. Everyone turned to stare at him. "You told us nothing useful," Vera said. "I told you exactly where they would attack and exactly when. You did not listen." Gareth stepped forward. "You think you are clever, human?" "No," Tyler said. "I think I pay attention." Squad 3 used the same tactics in their last 3 exercises. I watched the recordings this morning. They always send speed units to flank from the best elevated position while heavy units create a front line. It is effective. It is predictable. Thera appeared in the doorway. Her forearms held data pads. "Squad 7, your performance was poor. Squad 3 won decisively. However," she tapped one of her data pads. "Analysis shows that Cadet Tyler's position and timing were optimal for the scenario. His verbal warning came 8 seconds before the actual ambush. Had the team responded, the outcome may have been different." Vera looked at Tyler. Then at Thera. Then back at Tyler. Her expression was hard to read. "Tomorrow we have another team exercise," Gareth said slowly. "Perhaps we should discuss tactics before we begin." Tyler nodded. "I can show you the recordings I studied. Every squad has patterns. If we know the patterns, we can counter them." That night, Tyler sat in his quarters reviewing more combat footage. His data pad showed matches from the past month. Every squad. Every tactic. Every pattern. He made notes. Drew diagrams. Marked tendencies. His door chimed. Tyler opened it. Gareth stood in the corridor, his massive stone form barely fitting in the space. "Show me," Gareth said. "Show me these patterns you see." Tyler stepped aside. Gareth entered and sat on the floor, the sleeping pad too small for his bulk. Tyler pulled up footage on his terminal. They studied together until the night cycle ended and the first light of morning touched the stars outside the window. The simulation field was different today. The walls had been rearranged into a complex maze with multiple levels. Narrow passages connected open areas. Metal platforms created high ground positions. It was the most complicated battlefield layout Tyler had seen since arriving at the academy. Squad 7 gathered at the entrance. Vera looked at Tyler with an expression that was not quite trust but was no longer dismissal. "What do you see, human?" Tyler studied the layout on his data pad. "Squad 5 is our opponent today. They prefer aggressive tactics. Their leader is a Korgothi named Dax. He will push through the center with heavy force while his Vakrii scouts probe for weaknesses on the sides." "How do you know this?" Senna asked. Her reptilian eyes blinked quickly. "I watched their last 4 matches. Dax always does the same thing. He relies on intimidation and overwhelming power. He expects opponents to retreat when he charges." "So what do we do?" Pol asked. Tyler pointed to the map. "We let him charge into the center. But we do not meet him there. We use the narrow passages here and here to attack from angles he cannot defend. His size becomes a weakness in tight spaces." Gareth nodded slowly. "And if you are wrong? Then we lose," Tyler said. "But if I am right, we win." Vera was quiet for a moment. Then she handed Tyler a communicator. "Call the positions. We will follow your instructions. For this match only." The exercise began. Squad 7 moved into the field. Tyler watched from a covered position with good sight lines. His teammates spread out according to his plan. Squad 5 entered from the opposite side. Just as Tyler predicted, Dax led a charge straight through the center. 3 Korgothi warriors moved with him, their heavy footsteps shaking the metal floor. They expected Squad 7 to meet them head-on. The center area was empty. "Now," Tyler said into the communicator. "Senna and Crix hit them from passage 3. Pol, take the high platform behind them." His teammates moved. Stun bolts fired from unexpected angles. Dax and his warriors turned to face the attack, but the narrow passage blocked them from spreading out. Their numbers meant nothing in the confined space. "Gareth, collapse on them from passage 5, Tyler commanded. The massive tendril charged from the side. His stone body crashed into Squad 5's formation. 2 warriors went down under stun fire before they could react. Dax roared in frustration. He broke away from his squad and charged toward Tyler's position. The Korgothi moved with impressive speed for his size. "Vera, intercept," Tyler said calmly. Vera stepped out of cover and fired 3 shots. Dax dodged them all, still charging. He was almost to Tyler's position now. Tyler did not run. He stood up and walked backwards slowly, keeping his eyes on Dax. The Korgothi grinned, thinking the human was too scared to flee properly. Tyler backed through a doorway. Dax followed, his massive shoulders barely fitting through the opening. As soon as Dax was through, Tyler dropped flat. Gareth was waiting on the other side. His stone fist connected with Dax's face. The Korgothi staggered backward, directly into stun fire from Senna and Crix. Dax collapsed. "Squad 5 eliminated," the simulation computer announced. "Squad 7 wins." Back in the observation room, Instructor Kronak stood with his arms crossed. He replayed the match on the main screen. Specialist Thera watched beside him. "The human did not fire a single shot," Kronak said. "He did not need to," Thera replied. "He moved his pieces like a strategy game. Each teammate was positioned exactly where they needed to be." Kronak replayed the final sequence where Tyler led Dax into the trap. He used himself as bait. That was dangerous. But effective. He knew Dax would chase him. He knew Dax's pride would not allow him to ignore a human walking slowly away. He manipulated the opponent's psychology. Kronak's scarred face was thoughtful. "Run it again." The recording played a 3rd time. Then a 4th. The next day brought individual combat assessments. Each cadet would face an opponent selected by the instructors. The matches were designed to test pure fighting ability without team support. Tyler's name appeared on the assignment board. His opponent was listed as Brock, a Korgothi who stood even taller than Kronak. Brock had not lost a single match since arriving at the academy. The combat ring was surrounded by every cadet in the training program. Word had spread. Everyone wanted to see if the humans' tactics would work in a straight fight. Brock entered the ring with confidence that bordered on arrogance. His muscles rippled under gray fur. Old scars marked his arms and chest. He looked down at Tyler with amusement. "I will try not to break you too badly, little human," Brock said. Tyler said nothing. He studied Brock's stance, the weight distribution, the slight favor of his right side. An old injury perhaps. Something that had healed but left habits behind. Kronak raised his hand. "Begin." Brock charged immediately. His fist swung toward Tyler with enough force to crack stone. Tyler stepped to Brock's left toward the injured side. Brock's follow-up was a fraction slower on that side. Just a fraction. But enough. Tyler did not try to trade blows. That would be suicide. Instead, he moved constantly, staying just out of Brock's reach. The Korgothi grew frustrated. His attacks became wider, more aggressive. Tyler led him across the ring. Toward the edge. Toward the boundary line. Brock swung again. Tyler dropped low and swept at Brock's injured leg. The Korgothi stumbled but did not fall. He roared and grabbed for Tyler. His massive hands closed on empty air as Tyler rolled away. The crowd was silent now. This was not going how anyone expected. Brock charged again, abandoning technique for pure aggression. Tyler waited until the last possible moment, then sidestepped. Brock's momentum carried him forward. Tyler pushed at Brock's back, adding force to the charge. Brock's foot crossed the boundary line. "Match concluded," Kronak said. "Human wins by ring out." The silence stretched for a long moment. Then angry shouts erupted from the crowd. That was not a real fight. He ran away the whole time. Coward tactics. Tyler walked to the edge of the ring. He was breathing hard but steady. Brock remained outside the boundary, staring at his own feet in disbelief. Kronak stepped forward. His voice cut through the noise. "Silence." The crowd quieted immediately. "Some of you call this cowardice," Kronak said. "You believe that real combat is about strength and direct confrontation. But tell me, cadets, when you are on a battlefield, does it matter how you win? Does the enemy care if you defeat them through power or through tactics?" No one answered. The human understood something that Brock did not. Size and strength are advantages, yes. But they are also limitations. A larger body is harder to control. More momentum is harder to redirect. The human used Brock's advantages against him. Kronak turned to Tyler. "Well fought, cadet." That evening, Tyler sat in the Academy's library, reviewing footage of his match with Brock. He watched the moments where he had almost been caught. The times when Brock's reach had come within centimeters of connecting. He made notes on what he could improve. "Cadet Tyler." He looked up. Instructor Kronak stood in the doorway. The massive Korgothi entered and sat across from him. The chair groaned under his weight. "I owe you an apology," Kronak said. "When you arrived, I believed you were a mistake. A weak creature who would be crushed in the first week. I was wrong." "Thank you, instructor. But I must ask you something. Why do you study recordings every night? Why do you spend more time analyzing than sleeping?" Tyler considered the question. "Because I have to. Every cadet here is stronger than me, faster than me, better armed than me. If I face them without understanding how they fight, I lose every time. But if I study them, if I learn their patterns, if I see what they do before they do it, then maybe I have a chance." Kronak was quiet for a moment. "You know that eventually someone will adapt to your tactics. Someone will hide their patterns. What will you do then?" "Learn new patterns," Tyler said. "Study harder. Find different advantages. I cannot change what I am. But I can change how I fight." Kronak stood. "Continue as you are, cadet. You may teach these warriors something they did not know they needed to learn." After the instructor left, Tyler returned to his recordings. The screen showed his match with Brock again. He watched himself dodge, sidestep, and redirect. He saw the moments of danger. The split-second decisions that meant the difference between winning and losing. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. Stronger opponents. More complex scenarios. But Tyler would be ready. He would study. He would learn. He would adapt. Because that was what humans did best. The announcement came during morning assembly. Instructor Kronak stood before all the cadets with a data pad in his massive hand. "Advanced field exercise begins in 1 hour," Kronak said. "Duration is 72 hours continuous. You will operate in the wilderness zone with limited supplies. Combat scenarios will occur at random intervals. You must remain alert and mission ready for the entire period. There will be no scheduled rest breaks. No meal times. You manage your own energy and resources." Murmurs spread through the assembled cadets. 72 hours was longer than any previous exercise. Some cadets looked excited. Others looked concerned. Tyler felt his heart beat faster. This was different. This was not about strength or speed. This was about lasting. The wilderness zone was a massive section of the station designed to simulate outdoor environments. Trees grew under artificial sunlight. Rivers ran through valleys. Hills rose and fell across kilometers of terrain. It felt almost like a real planet. 200 cadets entered the zone at different points. Each carried a pack with basic supplies, a stun weapon, and a communicator. The objective was simple. Complete assigned tasks, respond to combat scenarios, and survive until the 72 hours ended. Tyler checked his supplies. 3 nutrition bars. 2 water containers. A basic medical kit. Not much for 3 days. The first 12 hours went well for everyone. Cadets moved through the terrain with energy and confidence. Combat scenarios appeared every few hours. Squads formed and dissolved as cadets completed tasks and moved to new objectives. Tyler worked with a mixed group that included Gareth, Senna, and a Vakrii named Lena. They completed their first 3 tasks efficiently. A navigation challenge. A combat scenario against simulated enemies. A survival test that required building a shelter. By hour 15, Tyler noticed the first signs of fatigue in his companions. Senna's movements were still quick but not as sharp. Gareth's responses were slightly delayed. Lena's usual hyperactive energy had decreased to merely active. Tyler felt tired too, but it was manageable. He kept his pace steady and conserved energy where he could. Hour 24 arrived. A full day had passed. The cadets gathered at a checkpoint for a mandatory equipment scan. Tyler looked around at the others. Many showed clear signs of exhaustion. The Korgothi cadets, so powerful at the start, now moved more slowly. Their massive bodies required enormous amounts of energy to function. The Vakrii were worse. Their speed came at a cost. Their metabolisms burned hot and fast. After a full day of activity, several Vakrii cadets had already been removed from the exercise due to exhaustion. Tyler ate one of his nutrition bars slowly and drank water. He felt the fatigue in his muscles, but his mind remained clear. He could keep going. The second day was harder. Combat scenarios increased in frequency and difficulty. Cadets had to fight while exhausted, make decisions while tired, navigate while their bodies screamed for rest. By hour 40, half the Korgothi cadets had significantly slowed down. Their powerful bursts of strength were impressive, but they could not maintain that output. Evolution had designed them for short, intense confrontations. Not for days of continuous operation. The Sylvani struggled too. Their forearms required more energy to operate. Their complex movement patterns became sloppy as exhaustion set in. Only the Thendrils seemed relatively unaffected, their stone-like bodies enduring through sheer durability. But even they moved more carefully, conserving their strength. Tyler maintained his steady pace. Not fast. Not powerful. But consistent. He completed tasks methodically. During combat scenarios, he avoided unnecessary movement. He let his opponents tire themselves out with aggressive attacks, then countered when they slowed. At hour 48, the halfway point, Instructor Kronak and Specialist Thera observed from a monitoring station. Screens showed the positions and vital signs of all remaining cadets. The Korgothi are performing below projections, Kronak said. His voice carried disappointment. Their biology is not designed for this, Thera replied. They are sprint predators. Ambush hunters. Their muscles are built for explosive power, not endurance. The Vakrii are even worse. We have removed 15 of them already. Thera pointed to one screen. Look at the human. Tyler's vital signs displayed across the monitor. Heart rate elevated but steady. Energy reserves depleted but stable. Stress markers present but manageable. He has maintained consistent performance for 48 hours, Thera said. No significant decline in reaction time or decision-making ability. His physical output is lower than others, but it has not dropped proportionally to the others. Kronak leaned closer to the screen. How is this possible? He is weaker than everyone here. Weaker in burst capacity, yes. But humans evolved differently than most species here. They were persistence hunters on their home world. They would chase prey not by being faster but by never stopping. Hour after hour. Day after day if necessary. The prey would run until it collapsed from exhaustion. Then the humans would claim it. That seems inefficient, but effective. And it built something into their biology. The ability to keep going when others stop. Not through superior strength. Through superior endurance. Kronak watched Tyler on the screen. The human was helping Gareth move a heavy object for a task objective. Tyler's movements were tired but controlled. Focused. Show me his performance ranking. Numbers appeared on the screen. Tyler had moved up significantly. Cadets who had outperformed him in strength and speed tests were now falling behind as exhaustion destroyed their effectiveness. Hour 60 arrived. The final 12 hours stretched ahead. Many cadets looked like walking corpses. They stumbled through tasks, made simple mistakes. Some sat down and refused to continue, accepting failure rather than pushing further. Tyler kept moving. His legs ached. His shoulders burned from carrying his pack. His eyes felt heavy. But he had been tired before. During his training on Earth, he had pushed himself through longer runs, harder conditions. This was painful, but it was not impossible. A combat scenario activated near his position. 4 exhausted cadets from different squads faced a simulated enemy force. Tyler joined them. The other cadets could barely lift their weapons. Their movements were slow and uncoordinated. Tyler took command without asking. Conserve energy. Minimal movement. Let them come to us. The others were too tired to argue. They followed his instructions. Tyler positioned them defensively and waited. When the simulated enemies attacked, Tyler's group responded with efficient, minimal movements. They won the scenario with half the energy expenditure of a normal assault. One of the cadets, a Silvani named Mora, looked at Tyler with exhausted respect. "How are you still thinking clearly?" "I am just as tired as you," Tyler said. "But tired does not mean unable. It just means harder." The final hours crawled past. More cadets dropped out. Some collapsed. Others simply gave up. The monitoring station medical team removed dozens who had pushed beyond safe limits. Tyler completed his final task objective at hour 71. He had 1 hour remaining. He found a spot under a tree and sat down carefully. His whole body hurt. But he had made it. When the 72-hour mark arrived, a signal tone echoed through the wilderness zone. The exercise was over. Remaining cadets made their way to extraction points. Tyler walked slowly toward the designated area. Other cadets emerged from the terrain. Some looked barely conscious. Others moved like machines operating on willpower alone. Gareth appeared beside Tyler, his stone body showing cracks in places from stress and fatigue. "Human, I did not think you would last past day 1. "I am full of surprises," Tyler said. They reached the extraction point together. Medical teams checked each cadet. Nutrition supplements were distributed. Rest areas were prepared. Instructor Kronak stood at the center of the area. As cadets arrived, he checked them off on his data pad. His expression was difficult to read. When most of the surviving cadets had gathered, Kronak addressed them. 72 hours ago, 200 cadets entered this exercise. 112 of you completed it. Many of your strongest warriors did not finish. Your fastest fighters dropped out early. This exercise was designed to reveal something important about combat readiness. He paused and looked across the exhausted faces. Strength matters. Speed matters. But endurance determines who stands at the end of a real battle. When the fighting lasts days instead of minutes, when rest is impossible and resources are limited, the warrior who can simply continue will defeat the warrior who burns bright and fast. Kronak's eyes found Tyler in the crowd. Final rankings will be posted tomorrow. But I will tell you now that we observed something unexpected. The human, who ranks near the bottom in strength and speed, finished in the top 15% for overall performance during this exercise. Not because he was stronger. Not because he was faster. But because he never stopped. Silence filled the area. Cadets turned to look at Tyler. The expressions varied. Surprise. Respect. In some cases, resentment. "All cadets are dismissed to medical checks and rest," Kronak said. "Recovery period is 48 hours. Use it." Tyler made his way to the medical station. As he waited in line, Specialist Thera approached. Her 4 arms carried several data pads. "Impressive performance, Cadet Tyler," she said. "You have given the instructors much to discuss. We believed we understood the limits of human capability. It seems we were wrong." "I just kept moving," Tyler said. "Yes, you did. And that may be more valuable than any of us realized." Tyler received his medical check and clearance. He walked back to his quarters on legs that felt like stone. His room had never looked more welcoming. He sat on his sleeping pad and allowed himself to feel the full weight of exhaustion. 72 hours. 3 full days of continuous operation. He had done it. Not through being stronger or faster, but through being human. Through lasting when others could not. He lay back and closed his eyes. Sleep came immediately, deep and dreamless. Outside his window, the stars continued their eternal watch, uncaring and infinite. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. But tonight, Tyler had proven something important. Not just to the academy. To himself. Humans could endure. The final examination was called the Gauntlet. Every cadet had heard stories about it. Some called it the ultimate test. Others called it a nightmare designed to break the strongest warriors. The rules were simple. Each cadet would enter the arena alone. Opponents would come one at a time. Fight until one person could not continue. Then the next opponent would enter. The test continued until the cadet was defeated or chose to withdraw. No cadet in academy history had defeated more than 12 opponents. Most fell after 6 or 7. The exhaustion combined with accumulated damage made it nearly impossible to continue beyond that point. Tyler stood in the waiting area with the other cadets. They would go in alphabetical order by species designation. Humans came after Korgothi but before Sylvani. He watched the screens as other cadets took their turns. Brock entered the arena first. The massive Korgothi fought with tremendous power. He defeated his first opponent in 30 seconds. The second in 45. But by the fourth opponent, his movements had slowed. The fifth opponent, a fresh Valkyrie fighter, used speed to wear Brock down. Brock fell after defeating 5 opponents. Other cadets followed. Most managed between 4 and 8 victories. A Thendril named Stonebreaker made it to 11 before a coordinated attack from a Sylvani opponent found the gaps in his armor. Then Tyler's name was called. He walked into the arena. The space was circular, about 50 meters across. Padded floors would cushion falls but not prevent pain. Thousands of cadets filled the observation seats above. Every instructor watched from their stations. Tyler's first opponent entered from the opposite side. A Valkyrie named Quickstrike. She was fast, known for ending fights in seconds. The signal sounded. Quickstrike moved immediately, closing the distance in a blur. Tyler did not try to match her speed. He watched her pattern. Valkyrie always struck from the same angle when they charged. Always. Tyler sidestepped at the last moment. Quickstrike's momentum carried her past him. Tyler struck at her leg as she passed, not hard but precisely placed. She stumbled. He followed up with 2 more strikes before she could recover. Quickstrike went down. 1 victory. The second opponent was a Korgothi. Tyler used the same tactics he had learned against Brock. Stay mobile. Make the larger opponent work harder. Wait for mistakes. Victory came after 2 minutes. The third opponent was a Sylvani. 4 arms attacked from multiple angles. Tyler had studied Sylvani patterns for weeks. He knew the sequences. He countered each attack with minimal movement, conserving energy. Another victory. By the 5th opponent, the crowd had grown quiet. Tyler was not supposed to last this long. He was too weak. Too slow. Yet he kept winning. Opponent number 7 was Vera from his old squad. She knew his tactics. She fought carefully, trying not to fall into patterns. But everyone had patterns. Tyler found hers after a minute of observation. He exploited a slight hesitation in her defense. Vera went down. 10 opponents fell. Then 12. Tyler had tied the academy record. In the observation station, Instructor Kronak watched with intense focus. Specialist Thera stood beside him, her 4 arms working across multiple data pads. His energy expenditure is remarkably low, Thera said. Each fight lasts longer than typical matches, but he uses less physical effort. He makes his opponents work harder than he does. Opponent 13 is entering now, Kronak said. A fresh fighter against a tired human. This is where he falls. But Tyler did not fall. He defeated opponent 13. Then 14. Then 15. The crowd was no longer silent. Excited chatter filled the observation areas. Cadets leaned forward in their seats. No one had ever seen anything like this. Tyler's body hurt. His muscles burned. His lungs worked hard to pull in air. But his mind remained clear. Each opponent showed him their patterns within the first 30 seconds. Once he saw the pattern, he knew how to counter it. Opponent 20 entered. A Thendril with massive armor plating. The fight lasted 4 minutes. Tyler could not hurt the Thendril with direct strikes, so he focused on movement. He made the Thendril chase him, turn repeatedly, waste energy. Eventually, the Thendril's exhaustion created an opening. Tyler exploited it. 25 opponents defeated. A new academy record. The crowd erupted in noise. Cheers mixed with disbelief. Tyler stood in the center of the arena, breathing hard. His uniform was torn in places. Bruises covered his arms and legs. But he was still standing. The arena fell silent. Every eye turned to the main entrance. Instructor Kronak walked into the arena. Tradition stated that when a cadet broke significant records, an instructor would enter as the final opponent. It was an honor. It was also nearly impossible to defeat an instructor. Kronak stopped 10 meters from Tyler. You have performed beyond all expectations, Cadet Tyler. No one would question your abilities if you chose to withdraw now. Tyler shook his head. I can continue, instructor. A slight smile crossed Kronak's scarred face. Then let us see what you have truly learned. The signal sounded. Kronak did not charge. He moved forward with controlled precision. He was not like the younger Korgothi fighters. His movements showed no wasted energy. No obvious patterns. Decades of combat experience guided every step. Tyler circled, looking for an opening. Kronak mirrored his movement, maintaining perfect distance. They moved like that for a full minute, neither committing to an attack. Then Kronak struck. Fast but controlled. Tyler dodged but barely. The instructor's reach was longer than he expected. Tyler countered with a quick strike. Kronak blocked it easily. They exchanged blows. Tyler used every technique he had learned. Every pattern he had studied. But Kronak adapted to each one. When Tyler tried a tactic that had worked before, Kronak countered it perfectly. 2 minutes passed. Tyler was breathing hard. Kronak looked barely affected. Tyler changed tactics. He could not outfight Kronak. Could not outpower him. Could not surprise him with patterns. So he focused on lasting. On making Kronak work for every strike. On defense over offense. 3 minutes. 4 minutes. 5. Kronak increased his pressure. His strikes came faster, harder. Tyler's defenses held but barely. A strike got through and hit Tyler's shoulder. Pain flared. Another strike clipped his leg. 6 minutes. Tyler was operating on pure determination now. His body was beyond tired. But his mind kept working. Kept analyzing. Kept looking for any advantage. 7 minutes into the fight, Kronak executed a complex combination that Tyler had never seen before. The strikes came from 3 different angles in rapid succession. Tyler blocked 2 but the third caught him in the chest. He went down hard. The arena was silent. Tyler tried to stand. His legs would not cooperate. He had nothing left. Kronak extended a hand. Tyler took it. The instructor pulled him to his feet. 7 minutes, Kronak said quietly. Against a fully trained instructor. Using only tactics and determination. Well done, cadet. The crowd erupted. The noise was deafening. Cadets from every species cheered. Even those who had doubted Tyler from the beginning could not deny what they had witnessed. Medical staff entered the arena to check Tyler. He waved them off initially but his legs gave out again. They caught him and helped him to a medical station. An hour later, the entire academy gathered in the main assembly hall. Tyler sat near the front, bandaged and sore but present. The academy commander stood at the podium. She was an ancient being from a species Tyler did not recognize. Her voice was strong despite her obvious age. Today we witnessed something unprecedented, the commander said. A cadet who was deemed too weak to belong here has broken records that stood for decades. This demands reflection. She gestured to the main screen. Images appeared showing Tyler's fights. When Cadet Tyler arrived, we measured him by our traditional standards. Strength, speed, natural weapons. By these measures he failed. We nearly rejected his application entirely. The commander paused. But we were measuring the wrong things. Humans do not have claws like the Vakrii. They do not have armor like the Thendril. They do not have the strength of the Korgothi. But they have something else. Something we did not value properly. She walked to the edge of the stage. Humans have the ability to learn any opponent. To outlast any foe. To adapt to any challenge. Their bodies are not specialized for one type of combat. They are generalized for every type of survival. This makes them weaker in any single category. But it makes them stronger in the only category that truly matters. What category is that? Someone called from the crowd. The ability to still be standing when the battle ends, the commander said. Cadet Tyler won 25 fights not because he was the strongest or fastest. He won because he understood each opponent better than they understood themselves. He conserved energy while others wasted it. He remained calm while others grew frustrated. He adapted while others repeated the same patterns. The commander looked directly at Tyler. The galaxy did not fear humans because it did not understand them. It saw weakness where there was actually preparation. It saw limitation where there was actually potential. Today this academy learned a valuable lesson. Strength takes many forms. And sometimes the most dangerous warrior is not the one with the biggest claws, but the one who learns where to strike. She raised her hand in salute. "Cadet Tyler, you have earned your place here. And you have taught us all something important." The assembly hall filled with the sound of hundreds of hands, paws, and appendages creating applause. Tyler stood slowly, acknowledging the recognition. Later that night, Tyler sat in his quarters. His data pad showed a message that had arrived during the assembly. It was a transfer approval. The Human Combat Doctrine Development Division wanted him after graduation. They wanted to learn from what he had accomplished. Tyler looked out his window at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth. His home. A planet full of humans who, like him, lacked claws and armor and tremendous strength, but who had something else. The ability to persist, to adapt, to never give up. The galaxy was about to learn what that meant. Tyler smiled and closed his eyes. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new lessons, new opportunities to show what humans could do. But tonight he would rest. He had earned it.